Hello, and welcome to Bronze Age Monsters, the show where we wade into the weirdest and wildest waters of the comic books of the 1970s. This season on BAM, we're talking about a Bronze Age buffet of short lived books with supernatural heroes. But today we're talking about Brother Voodoo, aka the man who died twice, lived twice, aka the Lord of the Loire, aka the Master of all Reptiles, aka Jericho Drum. I'm your co host, Matt Howell.
I'm your other host, Jacob Malcolm.
Thanks for joining us this week, listeners. We are very excited to be joining you on another live. We love doing these, don't we?
We do. They're a lot of fun. We always have crazy technical problems that
Yes,
we
we
never
do.
ever have before, but that's part of the fun.
Yes, it is. I like doing it on the fly. This reminds me why I didn't go into live television.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not my cup of tea. Can I just say something before we start here?
Sure.
We try to make these timeless and approachable from anybody, at any time. But it is October in real time right now, and this is my favorite time of year. It's my birthday month. It's when college football kind of really picks up, and it's also Halloween, which is my Christmas. It is my holiday. It always has been. It always will be. And I don't have the money or a TV network or any kind of platform to really push this out here. So I'm going to use this one platform I have for my meager voice to go out across the land. And I'm going to remind everyone that it is Halloween, not Halloween. Please stop saying Halloween. It's not Halloween. It's Halloween. Halloween. Hollow is its own word. Hollow. Hallow. Different things. Hallow means sacred or whatever, and it's All Hallows Eve. Hallow. I know you're trying to sound British, but that's not even how you'd say it in England. So stop. Halloween.
It's weird that I've known
Halloween.
you for a very long time and I have never heard this rant. Have you just had this in your holster the whole time?
Anyone that will listen, and every October, I guess you've just been spared till now. Please say Halloween.
Yeah, I do say Halloween.
I know you do.
Yeah.
That's why we're still friends. That's why we're friends.
All right.
Cool. So I feel like we've had a renaissance of sorts of reviews for the show, and I've been loving it. So I'm going to call this the Great Review. The Great Review push continues. Some buttons have been going out. We've been getting reviews. So I have another one from Ben is a Turd. This came into our Apple Podcast reviews. I'm just going to let that name kind of sink in. This is another 5-star one, and it says, Jesus wept for more. This podcast has cursed me with a bloodlust for more Bronze Age comic book horror-tinged fun, and I don't know if I'll ever be sated even after loving this show for 3 seasons. Jacob and Matt do a killer job each week of discussing everything that's awesome in both the writing and art of Marvel horror comics from the 1970s. Their enthusiasm for Werewolf by Night, Manwolf, Son of Satan, and the revolving door of 2 easily forgotten villains has led me to purchase way more comics than I can read, and now my kid has no college fund left. Thanks to these 2 fellas, my wallet has had more blood sucked out of it than any of Count Dracula's victims. I like to think I'm the better for it, and I cannot recommend this podcast highly enough. The interviews are great and insightful, and I always get a belly full of laughs each episode, and I'm yearning for more by the end of each episode. Thanks, fellas.
How nice. Yeah, that's so great.
Yeah. So, the last bit of business before we dive in here is that we do have this. See if I can figure out how to do it. Halloween. We do have our Threadless shop, and there's a link to it in the show notes of our regular show, but you can just go to Threadless, search Bronze Age Monsters Threadless, and you find it. But if you can see up here, there's an array of beautiful designs. I still don't have a Bronze Age Monsters Bystander shirt yet. I need to get that one.
Oh, me too. But I was just thinking that.
I did add a new one the other night. I had some insomnia, and I've been kicking around doing this one for a while. So there is an It the Living Colossus design now. So if you want to have that on a mug or whatever, but it's a Bronze Age Monsters design, obviously. But it's Gil Kane and Mike Esposito. So, thanks, guys. Thanks for doing that. Okay, so check that out. Buy a shirt. I believe there's a big sale going on Threadless right now. It's like, I don't know, it's a huge chunk off. So we support you guys doing that. We love you to support us as much as you can there. Okay, I'm excited to talk about this issue. This is Strange Tales 171. This features our friend Brother Voodoo. It was cover dated December of 1973. The previous issue, 170, was October. So it's not quite monthly yet, or not regularly monthly. I think that was the aim. This month, the Astonishing Tales number 21, which we just reviewed, came out the exact same time. So these were both on the stands the same time. All right, so we've got a cover here by Gil Kane, but inks this time are by Frank Giacoia. We've seen him a lot over the run of this show. We're fans of his work. And in my opinion, so we got Brother Voodoo here in a graveyard, kind of backhanding, I almost said zombie.
No, it's not a zombie.
Backhanding a Zuvembi. Mm-hmm. And he's, you can see the background in front of the full moon is Baron Samedi. And he says, no matter how many I smash, they keep on coming. And Baron Samedi says, and so they shall until you join them in death forever. And I absolutely love this cover. It's perfect horror. Like, there's been a lot of horror covers. I feel like the best ones have been on Tomb of Dracula and Werewolf by Night. But I mean, this one, like, I love Kane's composition here. I love his confidence and like that's kind of an awkward pose to have your hero not facing, at least 3/4 towards the viewer, like kind of his back to you. And so really dynamic, very action oriented. And the Baron looks like a jack-o'-lantern. I mean, he actually looks kind of spooky and creepy. And I love him. And yeah, in the bottom it says, the man who lived twice battles the unliving legions of Baron Samedi. What'd you think of this? I absolutely love this in the Zuvembis.
Oh, it's so fucking cool. So, I mean, I'm going to talk a little bit about him when we get to our opening page, but goddamn, I've never been happier to see Frank Giacoia on an issue. Like, holy shit, man. What he did with the cover and this issue is just so great. But yeah, you're right. There's lots of elements of this cover that probably shouldn't work as well as it does. It should be busy. It should be weird that our hero is kind of in an awkward position, but God, everything just looks so cool.
Yeah. And the arc of Baron Voodoo's swing sends your eye in this circle. That's just this eternal loop of just awesomeness of like punching a zombie, looking at Baron Samedi, going back to the church and then down to the Zuvembis. And it just keeps going around and around. And I'm happy to sweep that clock anytime.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, and it definitely is letting us know what we're in for this issue, story and art wise.
Definitely. You ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in. So, all right, the title of our tale is March of the Dead, and our cast of creators are Len Wein, author, Gene Colan, artist, Frank Giacoia, inker, Glynis Wein, colorist, L.P. Gregory, letterer, and Roy Thomas as editor. So it's, like I said, it's nice to have Frank Giacoia join the party. So, God, we've seen Frank in almost every season that we've done, mostly on covers. Like, I'm not really, I went through and kind of looked, but I don't remember the last issue that we talked about that had him doing inks proper on the book. A lot of it is covers, but they're covers that, goddamn, some of the best covers we've seen. He worked with Kane on Creatures on the Loose 31. That's the Man-Wolf cop car cover. Werewolf by Night 9 with Tom Sutton. Yeah, I looked. I think he did about 10 Werewolf by Night covers. Did the inks on them, and yeah, they're killer. Like the whole thing is, yeah, he's amazing. And, he's an old timer. His first comic credit was all the way back at the beginning of Marvel Comics, then known as Timely Comics. It was in January of 1942. He penciled a Jack Frost story in USA Comics #3. I think we talked about this maybe in the Werewolf by Night season. I think when we were talking about his covers, Jack Frost was a proto Iceman character that was created by Stan Lee, one of his first creations as a very, very young man. And yeah, I'm just so thrilled to have him here. And the colors too. Glynis Wein did a really great job on this. Like, I definitely noticed the colors. And yeah, but Colan and Giacoia, and you had said, looking back on some Tomb of Dracula, that he had done some inks for Colan, I think, on Tomb of Dracula.
I believe so. I'm not sure. doubting myself.
We're going into dangerous territory again. But yeah, let's dive in. So the title's March of the Dead. It's a great image of Brother Voodoo, kind of like looking over this cemetery. The opening narration is really cool. I'm going to read it. It says, "This night the cemetery grounds are bitter cold. The wind howls around the jagged tombstones like the moan of tormented souls. And any man, were he unwise enough to walk abroad through this kingdom of the dead, would do so in mortal fear. Any save this man. He strides amid the shuddering headstones, unconcerned, almost casually, his piercing gaze ever ahead. For to most who abide upon this superstitious Caribbean isle, he is fear. His name is Brother Voodoo, and tonight, though he does not know it, the dead are expecting him." So yeah, really fucking cool page.
I'm gonna get this out of the way here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna little sip of mead because this is a blacklight poster that should have been in my dorm room.
Hell yes.
This is a cream dream cover for me. He is fear. Like, I love the way Ween comes. I mean, putting the art aside, which is absolutely stunning. The building up this page to the next page, building up this kind of like falling back on that Lee Falk Phantom thing, where it's like just what the people think about him or know about him. Like, he is fear is like the most badass way to introduce this character, and then like this hand crawling out of the ground, and in the graveyard in the foreground. The stormy, tempestuous skies in the background. Can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, and I mean, this just sets the tone. Like, this looks like a killer. Yeah, just like what Glenn said. Yeah, this looks as good as Tom Palmer inks for sure. And
I think Glenn was referring to the fact that we were thinking of Tom Palmer when we were talking about Tomb of Dracula.
Yes. Oh, okay. I thought there's a couple people that inked him on Tomb of Dracula. Mostly Tom Palmer, though. I think
Palmer was his mainstay guy.
Palmer was his mainstay. Yeah, for sure. But I think Giacoya does just as well over his pencils, because what we've noticed, Giacoya, whether he's with Gil Kane, Tom Sutton, Gene Colan, he follows the artist. He doesn't do his own thing. He just enhances. He does everything that a good inker should do. And he obviously spends the time on it. He takes no shortcuts. And I think that, this whole issue is evident to that. Yeah.
Mark says that he's from the South and they call Halloween Devil's Holiday down there. At least you can say it right. I mean,
Halloween. Yeah.
Maybe that's where it came from. It might have come from a Southern drawl. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I speak normal English. So
yeah, we do. Accent free.
Yep. Okay. So, I just about squealed. I mean, I absolutely love the cover. I turned the page here and I was just crotch grabbingly good splash page. Let's move on. I do have to say I'm doing this one on my laptop. So the slides are a little bit smaller. So I might not be reading as much as I would like to normally because it's very small print. But we have this beautiful layout here. It's just a super moody sequence of Brother Voodoo walking through this graveyard. And there's, like I was saying, there's all that kind of phantom talk. Like, they say he is older than the cypress tree that splits the I forgot the name of the river. There's some river like in Haiti, and they say his ears are so strong that he can hear the death of the sun as it sets into the day, and he can hear the shriek of a leaf as it's falling to the ground, and all this like hyperbolic stuff. And then it says the next thing, like, yeah, but then I forgot I have exploded here. I can totally do this. I can read now. Never mind. I forgot I did all this pre-work.
Yeah, you did all the work, man.
Yeah. So yeah, he's I mean, this, like you said, the colors here pop so much. Like, his red cape is, I thought it was goofy when we first met the character, and then it's so fucking amazing when he gets into these blues and greens of the jungle and stuff like that. He just pops and it looks amazing. But they're saying, so his ears are he's so powerful and supernaturally acute hearing and stuff like that. Then why doesn't he hear the hand coming out and grabbing him until it's too late? And I love this bottom panel here as he's kind of just jumping, and because nobody wants to feel a hand around their ankle in a graveyard. No. And but this is what he was looking for. We find out. He says, "I have found what I expected." And then I love in the background this touch of like there's just more starting to kind of slowly crawl out from behind tombstones and crypts, and they're all just starting to swarm around him now. Lifelong zombie fan, even through the zombie fatigue of the Walking Dead and whatever the 2010s have been, I still enjoy a good zombie story. So I love this.
Yeah, especially on that panel you have up now. I don't know. Yeah, just Colin's layouts, man. They're just so cool. And you're right. There's so much information in the background, and it's so, yeah, it's just so good. I also noticed those kind of silhouettes of more Zuvembis crawling out from the earth, and yeah, it's just great. Yeah, you're right, and especially on this page. Yeah, definitely his cape and his pants really the colors really pop in this one, where they didn't as much in the first two issues. So I think Glynis and Len, dream team.
Yeah, I totally agree. And as far as this page goes as a whole, I think Colin's art, this could have been wordless page and it would have been absolutely the same beautiful stuff. But I like that Ween is not just saying what, not Cisse stuff. He's adding with that kind of phantom mythos. So that was cool. It was not wasted words, which I appreciate.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, just kind of building up the myth of him in Haiti, like what his title is, and the fact that it is this generational or whatever mantle that's handed down. There's always a protector. Love that.
All right,
you know what, Jacob? Our friend Jared points out that Robert E. Howard was the one that coined that term Zuvembi, and Marvel just lifted it because they couldn't use the word zombie because the code would still not let them use that word. Thank you, Jared. That is a cool little bit of insight. I think I read that somewhere once and I totally forgot it, so I would not.
Yeah, remember. I forgot that as well. So let's see. Why am I not? Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so I love Jericho on this next page turns around. He says, Zuvembis, the soulless ones. They rise from the moss-wet earth to destroy me. Their cold hands reach to rend, to tear. Then let them come if they must. They will find Brother Voodoo ready. So these three panels are so great. So we're looking from behind Brother Voodoo in this top one where he says, Zuvembis, the soulless ones. And yeah, we're seeing all the zombies Zuvembis come out. Then there's this great, that third panel or second panel is so great where he just is, swiping, getting ready for him. And then, yeah, he just lets him have it. And it's so cool. So as he's, kind of laying into him, and the narration on the bottom says, ready and able, powerful muscles bunch, and empty-eyed assassins are hurled through the air like so much wind-blown chaff. And yes,
so good.
It's so good. I really feel like, I don't know, I think you and I were more prepared for Len to be a little too cheesy for us, but I think he's getting better and better. Like, we liked his prose from the first Brother Voodoo issue, but he's really getting good. Like, I noticed that in this one. His writing is just perfect in this.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yep. And honestly, my reaction to this page this page 3. I was just like, my note just says, I can't believe this didn't sell like hotcakes. I can't believe this wasn't in 3 pressings back then. Like, it's fucking gorgeous. It's got horror themes. It's got moody weirdness, but also creepy action happening. Like, how was I just cursed what the fuck, American 70s kids? What is your problem? How did you not fucking buy this? Like, you know what I mean? Crazy.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, everyone who was super into Tomb of Dracula should have totally loved this.
Yeah, I mean, the impression I got from reading some of the back matter on the stuff is just like, didn't really sell. We ordered these 4 issues or whatever, and they just didn't see the numbers we thought, so we moved on to another guy. That's just shocking to me.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we're moving on to the next page, and this fucking orgy of gorgeous art continues. The top row, we see these amazing Zuvembis. They have white eyes, and they're just kind of like coming in this horde, just stumbling towards him. Their faces are withered, their mouths twisted open in soundless solicitation. There's that whole like thing that silent monster is so much creepier than something that makes a sound. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like an inhuman tide coming towards him. And Brother Voodoo just continues just kicking ass. I mean, he's just whatever. Like, and then the third panel, I actually like just about squealed like a little kid when I saw Jericho's spirit coming out of his brother.
Yeah.
It says, so with an arcane prayer upon the voodoo master's lips, from some mysterious quarter deep within him, aid is summoned. And so Jericho comes out. Daniel comes out, and he is commanded to attack. So you see him rising up and trying to enter into a zombie, which is rendered awesomely with these. I love the fine line work from the artists on here. And he finds it is impossible. And this is actually physically painful for Brother Voodoo. He says, it's impossible. The Zuvimbi's bodies cannot be entered. And he says, I must attempt another possession quickly. So this is, I get the impression like Daniel's out. He's weaker right now. He's vulnerable. So he needs Daniel to get a foothold into another body, or he's kind of at risk now of being swarmed or overcome by these. The parade of horror awesomeness just continues on this page.
Yeah, I mean, every panel on this page is gorgeous, especially that first one. My God, of all the Zuvembis coming with their white eyes.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn. So have we seen this side of his power set before, to where if he releases Daniel and Daniel doesn't immediately possess someone, that it weakens him, and as we'll see on the next page, even it says causes him agony.
Yeah, I think this is new. I think this is a Ween adding nuance to the thing. I think that, like, just the same way, like when you go into astral form or something, it's the same kind of thing where it's like you have to kind of weaken yourself or expend a certain amount of energy to where you're vulnerable, which I think is a cool addition. Because if you can just send Daniel out to just take anyone over, it's just kind of like force. It's like, it's like using the force, just kind of push your way around, do whatever you want, which is a little too easy.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Agreed. So yeah, next page, Daniel keeps trying to possess the Zuvembis, but fails. And each new failure, it says, causes Jericho greater agony. He thinks, can't continue this, must summon Daniel's spirit back to me before I black out from the pain. And the narration says, for an instant, the Lord of the Loire stands shaken, clearing his aching head. But in an instant is all he has before the mindless mob is upon him once again, encircling him in an ever-constricting vice. And yeah, I loved that middle panel. It's a really long, skinny panel, but it shows, that these are not super slow moving Zuvembis. It seems like they can swarm pretty quickly. And then at the bottom two panels, the narration says, until he is borne down to the dirt by sheer overpowering weight. And he's thinking, too weak, can't fight them anymore. If only I could have discovered their master, the one who controls them, before it was too late to. And he's looking off panel. He says, huh?
I love in that first panel of this page, the way that they depicted Daniel trying to like he's physically climbing inside of him, like he's trying to just force his way in. It's so cool.
Yeah, God, it's great. No, you're right. I mean, the art on these first few pages, it was like every time I went to the next page, I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, we won't harp on it, but yeah, it's just shocked this didn't become like a top tier horror book for Marvel.
Yeah, I find it quite literally shocking. Mark just said he just found out that Plug did the storyboards for The Thing. Yeah, Mark, please check those out. They're fucking gorgeous. They're easily found online.
Yeah, they're amazing. All the stuff he did for film in the late 70s, early 80s, fucking amazing. And I'm sure we talked about it on the Werewolf by Night season, but yeah, he actually got a real payday and got paid fairly for his work. So I think he was very content to just do that for a long time.
Yep. And I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I mean, it really bums me out to no end that people like Gabriel Hardman and like just all these incredibly talented artists, like just like I have to go to Hollywood and do storyboards to make a living. Like comics is my passion, and I support it by working in Hollywood. Like that's not right. You should be able to support yourself. I don't know. I don't get it, man. Okay, so we're moving on. And we've got a great 4-panel layout here where the bottom panel takes up 2/3 of the page. In my opinion, this top row should have been wordless. I think this is would have read way better just being the sequence of the ground starting to kind of shake and a tombstone toppling over, and then we see this figure almost entirely in shadow, like a Mignola creepy demon, like climbing out of the ground, something dark, something powerful, and we just see Brother Voodoo, this close up on the upper half of his face. He's saying, "No, it can't be." Um, Again, no words on this. I think it would have actually been stronger, in my opinion.
Totally.
But this reveal here on the bottom, I absolutely love this reveal. The character, and he has, shaky word balloons, so his voice is raspy or otherworldly or something. But he's saying, "It is Jericho Drum. You who are called Brother Voodoo, it is. Baron Samdi has risen from the world below to take charge of his kingdom at last. Baron Samdi, the Lord of the Dead." And he is, this panel's freaking amazing. I love that he's wearing a marching band top like Sergeant Pepper with no shirt on, and then these trousers, and he has the common like Baron Samdi, like the staff with the skull on top. Yeah, I was just kind of surprised that the design, they didn't go with the classic tux top, top hat, skull face paints. Like I'm really surprised they didn't go that way. It seemed like a guaranteed grand slam for a character design, especially when it's literally what the character looks like in a lot of popular renditions of him.
Yeah, I thought about that too, and I'm sure that there was, visual reference for that at the time. So this is Colin doing his Colin thing, and just kind of just making the character his own. And the design is, I mean, I guess you can think silly things about it a little bit, but I don't know. I loved it from the beginning. I just think it's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely just smacks of like, New Orleans and that kind of just the
Mhm.
party atmosphere kind of thing. Like just having him like he leads a band. What is the band he leads? Oh,
Oh,
I get it now. He leads the undead, He's like the Pied Piper. It's fucking creepy. And
yeah.
I saw this panel and I was like, again, I'd read through this stuff once just real fast through essentials or whatever. And my first thought was like, oh my God. So we went, okay, I threw away Damballa too fast. That was dumb. I did the Werewolf by Night thing. I made a cool villain and I just got rid of him. This guy is going to be his Lex Luthor. Like that was immediately my thought. Like this is obviously his arch enemy.
Yeah.
No.
No, he's not, by the way.
I don't think he even appears again after this.
Nope. Yeah, this is really, it's so crazy. And it's funny that the horror books did that, It was just this breeding ground for cool villains that just immediately die. I mean, there's something to that. I love it, where they're just like, this is a great idea. Let's not milk it at all. Let's not even utilize it properly. Just once, one and done.
Yeah. But I mean, this guy to me felt like he was some kind of like, Sandman character or something like that. Like, this guy has a lot of gravity and a lot of weight to him. And I was like, I'm ready to have this dude be unnerving and creep me out.
Oh yeah. No, I would have loved him to stick around forever in tons of books. Yeah. But okay, yeah, next page. So the narration kind of takes us back in time. It reads, memory, the sprawling old mansion on the outskirts of New Orleans' exotic French Quarter, the musty old manor that is now his home. Memory. That keeps going on this page, by the way. Memory, a quiet afternoon in his ornately furnished study, speaking softly to a copper-hued snake as if the reptile could understand him. And he's saying to the snake, he says, it's been quiet lately, Papa Jumbo. Nothing has required my services. Okay, so his snake is named Papa Jumbo, which is pretty rad.
Oh, I thought like he was talking to Papa Jumbo's spirit, like Papa Jumbo came to him as a snake and like just was hanging around. I totally thought it was literally Papa Jumbo.
Maybe it is, or maybe
probably it's just a snake.
It's just a snake. That's what I thought. He's honoring his dead mentor by naming a super kick-ass snake after him.
I guess because he was talking to it, I just assumed it was actually him. I
yeah.
Guess. Okay. I love this gesture. Like his hand gesture is very like,
well,
come on.
He's animatedly talking to the animals. It's kind of like Che Johnston in that Tea Party scene from Mr.
Yeah.
Show. He's talking and
Creepy
like
peeping videos.
yelling at the dolls at the table. So yeah. And he goes on to say, in truth, I find this forced hiatus most grating on the nerves. If something does not happen soon, I will. And then we hear knock, knock. Then we get another memory. The sudden unexpected rapping at the door and the stiff-limbed entrance of Bamboo, the manservant he had acquired through the death of Damballa, the serpent god. Which has a little editor's note that this all happened in Strange Tales 170. So I guess he just inherited Bamboo after destroying his old boss. So yeah.
Can you go back a panel to the Papa Jumbo? I absolutely love this note here from Ween. I know this is Ween saying, referencing Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, because you know that thing where like Holmes went fucking crazy between cases. Like his mind is so fucking crazy that like he'd like snort coke and just lay around the apartment and drive fucking like Watson crazy because he's like, Jesus Christ, give him a case. He's driving me nuts. That's totally what he's referencing. I swear it has to be.
Yeah.
Like grating on the nerves. I think that's literally even a turn of phrase that Holmes Doyle used.
Yeah, but I mean, while we're on that panel, I love his stately manse.
Do you feel like on the reveal, the top of this page, like when they show it and say now we're in outside New Orleans, did you feel like we missed a beat? Like maybe this is his house, but some of the language we used, it felt like it's a spooky house, which would have nothing to do with him prior to becoming Brother Voodoo. I was kind of confused because I thought he was going to take over Damballa's place, but that was just an encampment. So that was like a temporary thing because Damballa had just come to the island like a few months before Daniel died.
Yeah, he was a new god.
Yeah.
So
not that, not TM.
Not TM new god. No, I think that there might be a little bit of missing information here, but like they explained away some of the events from Brother Voodoo's first appearance in this issue, maybe we'll get a little backstory, or maybe there was going to be backstory flashback about the house if we don't get it in the next issue.
Yeah, you're right, because Lynn Wein probably thought like we did, like, well, this is going to be going for a long time, so I have plenty of time to expand and decompress some of this stuff. I'll just throw in a bunch of cool stuff, like it's a pilot, and then we'll explain some things, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah. So Bamboo enters the room and he says, Master, there are two gentlemen here to see you on a most urgent matter, they say. Shall I show them in? He says, by all means, Bamboo, please do.
That art, that close-up of him is gorgeous.
It's so good.
And I love that Bamboo dresses like Mike Love all the time. Just always walking around in white linens. Probably always doing this. Mike Love, meditative TM. All right, ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, so the men enter, and we get a nice scene here. So we're in a flashback right now, by the way, folks. So Brother Voodoo just passed out in the graveyard when Baron Samedi revealed himself, and then he's flashing back to these guys visiting, and so it's Messrs. Jerome Hayes and Elia Ward. And they're like, you don't need to introduce us to him. We know this guy. This is Brother Voodoo. And he's like, how can I help you? And they come to him in desperation. And they explain that back in your home of Haiti, there's a grip of terror on the land. And then they go into a flashback. So we have what I call a flashback within a flashback. And that, my friends, is a new drink.
Oh, nice call.
Nested flashbacks are one of my little not pet peeves. I like my pet, like I love them.
Yeah, I love them too.
My familiars.
Yeah.
So they flash back and explain that one of them owns an electronics plant on the island, and they were attacked by these zombies. And the guards did their best to fight them off and protect the plant, but they were overwhelmed. And then the Baron came in as their leader, again, the band leader. And instead of like a marching band stick, he's got a skull staff. Love that middle bottom panel there as he's coming in. And then in the end, we see that essentially the guards were just overwhelmed and the Zuvembis were victorious. I'm going to say that I've been crotch grabbingly in love with this issue so far. And then when it said electronics plant, I was like, why are we talking about electronics? Why are we talking about a factory? Why are we talking about industry? What's going on? So that was the that was the start for me of the issue of the
Okay. Yeah.
what, something's going on, something's brewing. Glenn
Yeah.
says it's actually a flashback within a flashback within a flashback. Is that true?
I don't know.
I feel like the start of this issue was the first one that's actually present time.
Yeah, the start of the issue is present time.
Because it does flashback to what happens in 169, which was present time.
Oh boy.
And then we do have nested flashbacks going on through this whole thing. That is definitely what's going on, though. I can tell you that much. Okay, yeah. So
all right, so yeah, next page, Baron Samdi shoots a hole in the wall with his staff, and the Zuvembi steal what they call a great electronic transformer that our technicians had completed only that same day. But it just, it just looks like a weird old timey computer that, would fill a room. And and it says, but as the Zuvembis shambled back out of our plant, the battered guards revived and through sheer force of numbers managed to capture a straggler who had fallen behind the rest. So they captured one of these Zuvembis, and they were saying that this straggler, great one, was my cousin Desmond, who had drowned in the Trois Rivieres 6 months before. And so, yeah, they've told their story. And it says, well, man, what do you say? Will you help us or won't you? And Brother Voodoo says, yes, Mr. Hayes, I will help you with pleasure. Bamboo, make all the necessary arrangements. We're going back to Haiti at last. So yeah, like Holmes, he is super stoked now. He's just like, oh shit. Baron Samdi? Electronics? That's all me, baby. Let's head back.
Zuvembi.
Yeah, Zuvembis.
You had me at Zuvembi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I love that beat of this is a drowned man that they captured, one of the zombies. So it's like, oh, that's fucking cool. That's
it's
really
super cool.
That's a cool beat. I do feel like this is something that Ween put out there, and it's a cool note, and then he has to walk it back later, though, with some reveals of the nature of these things. And it's that, like, I don't know if he wrote this. He's like, oh shit, that's right. The code never allowed us to have animated corpses, huh? Okay, I'll wrap my way out of this one.
See, that's what I thought as well. It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you. I think it makes it kind of like fun and silly Bronze Age. But you're probably right. That probably is a large part of why this couldn't just be a normal zombie story, which is so weird. Like, why would everything's been loosened monster wise except fucking zombies? Like, thank God they had Tales of the Zombie in the Curtis mags. But yeah, weird.
Yeah, you should, anybody can probably go to archive.org or something and look at newsreel footage of embedded reporters that were in Vietnam and stuff that was on the fucking news every fucking night. Like,
yeah,
there was some grisly fucking shit on the news from
like,
Southeast Asia. Like, zombie, the idea, not even flesh-eating zombies, not Romero zombies.
No.
Classic voodoo, Haitian, whatever zombies are still a no-no. They're still taboo.
Weird.
That's really crazy to me. All right. Is this me? This is me, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we got largely a recap page here. So it says memory, the musty mildewed smell of, so he goes back to Haiti. We're still embedded in a flashback, and he meets the guy at the precinct house, and he explains, like, yeah, we caught some of the burglars and he's a prisoner, and he takes him and he says, well, maybe you better see him for yourself. He's strapped over on this table. And he goes in, the guy's getting strapped down. He's like writhing with, motion lines. He's moving around. And the sight chills his marrow, as it would, because he's supposed to be a dead guy. And he begins examining him, and he sees the straps, and he's writhing in inhuman torment. and we get this great panel looking in these white eyes. There's no irises, no pupils, and his empty eyes plead with the voodoo man to free him. His cracked lips curl back in mute appeal. All this stuff is so cool to me. And so Brother Voodoo's like saying, how long has he been this way? And like, this is how we found him, And so we sent to the UN for a pathologist. I was like, oh my God, he brought it back around. Holy shit. Because I remember thinking, is this ever going to come up again?
You said that on our first Brother Voodoo episode. So yeah, and here he is.
So so Brother Voodoo says, well, I should probably go to the airport and meet these guys. And I was like, I know that, dude.
Oh yeah, I love these last two panels. The Zuvembi, God, just those hollow white eyes are just so cool. And then I do like Brother Voodoo pondering with his his hand on his chin in that last one. His doctor side is coming back.
His doctor and his Sherlock side, like he's really, I feel like Ween's really putting forward. He's like the Sherlock Holmes of the voodoo world.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'll take it all day.
So next we get another. So basically, it's so cool that we've gone all the way back to the beginning, and so it's kind of just a recap of what we saw, but it's a couple of new panels showing the action. I remember like how kind of lackluster the first fire entrance was and all of that. Like I actually like these redo panels way better than the original ones, because Giacoya in King Colon is just super cool. So we see the pathologist land, get attacked by the dudes, sound of drums fill the air, and it just kind of basically is this whole page is a flashback. So that's another one, right? So and but then at the bottom, and it says, at last in police headquarters, they bring this pathologist basically to, examine this Zuvembi. And so it says, at last in police headquarters, at the bottom there, it says, I'm sorry, gentlemen, but my findings are inconclusive, which I did think is kind of funny. And I like how mad it makes everybody too, because I would be mad too. Like, we flew you here, motherfucker. Like, don't you have anything else to say?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was kind of, I kind of appreciate the retread a little more too. Like, kind of a better approach than the first one.
Yeah.
Ready?
You bet.
So this continues on the next page here, and they're saying, how inconclusive, Doctor? And he says, very inconclusive, Captain Leveroux. I don't know why that makes me laugh every time. He can find no definitive explanation for this man's condition, but he looks under his fingernails and he finds some stuff there that basically leads him to believe that this is chemicals, nutrients, whatever that we'd find in graveyard soil. And so the police guy says, all right, well, that's it. I'm going to send a whole squad of guys out to comb all the cemeteries. We'll find these creatures. We'll get the bottom of this. And Brother Voodoo says, no, Captain, wait. This is no task for a squadron. I will go to the cemeteries first to quietly ascertain the truth of our assumptions. Like, well, if you're certain, if you want to. And Bamboo's like, may I come with you? And I was like, oh, cool. They get to have some like bonding time. He's like, no, nope. Faithful one. You'd best remain here. Like, have tea ready for me when I get back, basically.
That's right.
Something that Brother Voodoo must do alone. And I love these bottom two panels here, these gorgeous little portraits of Brother Voodoo. As he's waking up from that reverie, his flashback has ended, and now he is back in present time. His mind drifts, swirls, finally fades. Shafts of light prod his master's eyes, and then blah, blah. And then he's finally like woke up. He's like, oh, God, that's right. I know where I am now.
Yeah. I don't know, this whole page, I mean, this is just dudes talking in a room, doing creepy shit, but just dudes talking in a room. And I loved every panel on here.
It's pretty good.
It's so good, every one of them. So yeah, again, it's kind of unbelievable.
Agreed.
Okay, so we get a big reveal on this next page. Yeah, so I don't know. I did love this page, as kind of like silly and stupid as it is. Like, it's so beautiful. So we get this full page illustration of Brother Voodoo chained, hanging from the ceiling above some cool laboratory. And he says, Baron Samdi, the Zuvembis, and men dressed in the infamous uniforms of AIM. And we get a little editor's note down there. It says, that's Advanced Idea Mechanics, a super sinister worldwide organization recently on view in Astonishing Tales and Marvel Team Up. That was, again, name dropper Roy. So, yeah, I can see how you, Matt, might be a little disappointed. You're like, wait, AIM? Like, and I get it. Like, yeah, but, you said it. It's probably, making this a little bit more code approved than, because if it was just a normal zombie tale, that's just like what they're doing in the Curtis magazines. Like, that's all real zombie shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, down below we have Baron Samdi, who says, welcome back to the land of the living Jericho drum. Where you are is a secret complex hidden beneath the crumbling cemetery where first we met. And as to what is happening, well, for now, let's just say we have plans for you. You got really mustache twirly.
Yeah. I mean, again, this first handful of pages, Brother Voodoo, like Hellboy, like stalking around a graveyard at night, absolutely gorgeous. And then the reveal to be this is a lab under a cemetery with like Spectre James Bondy things going on. I'm not gonna lie, man. It was kind of a Bronx cheer or whatever. Womp womp for me.
Yeah, no, I can get it. I
love AIM. I love AIM in their place. I love seeing Cap and the Falcon beat the shit out of them and throw them around like rag dolls, but
that's fun.
We weren't there. Like it was just a whiplash thing for me.
I can understand that. Yeah, it didn't bother me as much. I just kind of went with it, and yeah, I mean, it's not a. You're right. I mean, it is a definite whiplash tonal change here, but
remember Giant Sized Creatures 1 when Tigra and the werewolf meet? Was it Hydra agents? And we're just like, Hydra. Hydra, like in a cave on the West Coast. Come on.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just too sophisticated.
Yeah.
For this kind of jibber jabber.
You are.
All right, so let's move on then. Yeah, let's continue our slide. So Brother Voodoo, strapped to a giant bomb-looking scientific device, says, plans. What plans, Samdi? Is come now, Drum. Have a little patience. I'm certain there's so much else you'd want to know about before we deal with you finally. The creation of the Zuvembis, for example, or the purpose of this, AIM installation. So this really cool, creepy villain's talking about AIM bases. And I absolutely love this middle panel. He's so cool looking with this ghastly power in his, weird hair. He's like, all right, Samdi, you win. I'm interested. He's like, of course you are. Then listen well, Jericho Drum, and learn. And we get a little flashback where we see him explain that all the Zuvembis have been people that have been foolish enough to go into a cemetery at night by themselves, and AIM agents have grabbed them. And so, like, this is so weird to me, so jarring to have, like, this cool, a guy leaving flowers for a loved one in a cemetery in the night, and then, like, AIM goons, like, creeping up on him in yellow hazmat suits in the background. It's so funny.
See, I loved it. This just made me laugh, and I just thought it was fucking ridiculous. I don't know. This weird shift for me is like why Bronze Age is weird, because everyone's just being like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Let's try and do something cool. And sometimes they just try to mash shit together. And I have a soft spot for that.
Yeah, it depends on the day for me. I think just wasn't in the mood for it this time. So it was just kind of like, God damn it. So he continues to explain that it took months and months for them to acquire all these Zuvembis. I'll pick all these people off. My headcanon was like, okay, so that brother didn't drown in the river. Maybe they thought he went to the river and they assumed, well, he's gone. There's no body. He must have got swept away in the river, but he actually just got grabbed by AIM. So that's why he was a Zuvembi.
Yeah, I guess. But you're right. That was the only thing that didn't really sit too well with me. Jason Feinstone is saying maybe a desperate attempt to establish Brother Voodoo's place in the MU and prevent his run from being canceled. Is this so? What do you think? Is this a Werewolf by Night 42 thing we're dealing with here?
I was wondering that. I was wondering if it was the other way around and it was actually just trying to yeah, same thing, I guess. Like just try and tie him in just to get cross appeal. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't know how these work back in the day, but I believe they probably ordered these as a block, right? I mean, that they're not getting feedback on the first issue or two and then changing something by the third issue. Ween's
Mhm.
banging these out, and then Colin's drawing them over a couple months, right? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. It. I wonder if they were just like 70. See, end of 73. Nothing had really been canceled yet, right? I mean, Werewolf by
Horror's
Night's rolling. Too much
yeah,
Dracula's
horror's going
rolling.
good.
Yeah, I don't know. I wondered if like Ween just liked this stuff and was like, I want to throw in something. I'm not gonna bring MODOK in yet, but
Maybe
some
though.
AIM guys.
I'd love
Yeah,
to
I don't
see
know.
that.
I just don't feel whimsical right now, so I didn't get swept up in it as much as I might normally.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, next page, Samdi goes on saying, it is a most remarkable device, one that drains not the soul, but the mind, the spirit, leaving the victim mere putty in our hands to be shaped as AIM sees fit. So yeah, I mean, he just is AIM basically. He's a
He got interviewed by
subcontractor.
HR. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
what I'm saying.
did.
This whole thing is just like, wait, so he just sat down at a desk and like, so tell me about a time that you rose above a challenge at work to create a better outcome than you expected. Well, one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, AIM as HR. He probably went through like a 3-step interview process.
Yeah,
So
it is a
yeah,
bit Scooby-Doo, Glenn. Yes.
yeah. So he goes on, imagine it, Jericho Drum, a mindless, emotionless army, totally obedient to its master's commands, a relentless force. And you, the famous Brother Voodoo, it has been decided, shall be the vanguard of that force. And the narration reads, a switch is thrown, and for a time the stagnant air fairly crackles. The faint odor of ozone fills the chamber. Until finally, and then we see that, Brother Voodoo is out. And somebody says, quickly now, bring him down. And if you value your lives, don't damage him. The next panel, he says, Brother Voodoo, I command you, step forward and stand before your new master. And we see that Brother Voodoo actually does say, yes, master, I come. The final panel, we see Samdi saying, did you see he obeyed without a moment's hesitation? The process is complete, and the greatest slave of all belongs to AIM. Like he's really loves championing AIM. He's a supervisor is watching him, and he just wants to, let everybody know that he loves AIM and AIM's the best.
Oh, he has a corner office he's already picked out. Like he's
does,
like,
yeah,
just want to be middle management.
yeah.
401k. AIM branded step ladder. Yes.
Yeah.
Those are definitely that's advanced idea mechanics right there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh boy. Okay. So here's the big exciting stuff now. Again, the Bond kind of a thing going on. He says, "Come on, Baron. You didn't really believe that, did you?" And he thwacks the Baron. He's like, "No, it's not possible. Grab him, fools! Grab!" Great action there from Colin. Love the Baron getting socked. And so the AIM guys grab his limbs and hold him back. He's like, I don't understand. The process is foolproof. You couldn't have escaped it. He says, well, the process is only foolproof when it works, Baron. And though you may have laughed, Brother Voodoo did not gain his reputation for nothing. I'm not only the Lord of the Loa, Samdi, but the master of all reptiles. It's going to let that kind of that stink dispel, roll the windows down, maybe just kind of wafts out of here. Go on. So while you busily explain the inner workings of your operation to me, I summoned one such creature to chew through the mechanism circuitry. This kind of give me flashbacks to the end of Dumbala, because it's like, I had a roommate that had one of these lizards. They're not fast. Like,
yeah, I
don't know where he got that from, but they're like if you watch one eat a piece of lettuce for like 3 hours, like it's very slow. This is when you threw that switch, there was an impressive lot of sparks and fireworks, but nothing more. Your brain drain device is totally harmless now, Samdi. So interesting way out, I guess.
Yeah, I
Lizard saved
know.
the day, Letty.
Yeah, Letty's right. Lizard did save the day. So yeah, I know. Look, I totally get where you're coming from and thinking this is stupid, because it is stupid. It was just, yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm just feeling a little more whimsical than you today, because I don't know. I ate this shit up. I thought it was hilarious and awesome.
Hey, I have no complaints about the art through any of this.
Yeah.
So I'm
I mean,
not having a good time. Trust me.
okay, good. So yeah, and next page, yeah, Jericho screams, "I am not," and just starts beating the shit out of AIM, which is really satisfying. Every time you love seeing those guys get the shit kicked out of them. And somebody says, "Well, perhaps you can't be controlled, Jericho Drum, but you can be destroyed. Attack my servile army, kill him." It says, at somebody's command, the mindless men surge forward. Then abruptly they stop, as each of them clutches at his face in sudden searing pain, only to lower his hands mere instants after to reveal a new man, a man free of Baron Samdi's bondage. So yeah, the effect is wore off. So, yeah. Not real zombies, electronic aim. Yeah, and so Samdi's like, the Zuvembis, they're normal once again. But how? How? He knows exactly why. Like, oh, okay, he doesn't know the lizard chewed through the cables yet. Okay, so that's it.
No, what he doesn't know. No, when Brother Voodoo picked up an AIM dude and threw him into a computer, that's what broke the rest of the brain device or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, he says it in this last panel. Sorry.
Yeah, in the last panel, he says, "I'm not certain, Baron, but I'd say that has something to do with it." And yeah, points towards the broken display. It says, "Destroying that mechanism seems to have released the Zuvembis from your spell." And yeah, this is goofy as shit, but still great. Yeah, great art on this page. And Mark, you're right. I mean, Glynis Wein did such a fucking great job coloring this.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like we could praise her as much as Colin through this entire issue, and she deserves it.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, I no complaints about the art. Like you, I love that top row when he's just chucking AIM dudes around like footballs. I mean, you're never not gonna love that, man.
No.
Okay, so we're at the penultimate page here. Let's keep sliding backwards. So he says, "Now, quickly, my friends, those pneumatic elevator tubes will take you to the surface and freedom." So now we're like fully in. Is it Get Smart? The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? I don't know. Like,
man.
It's like those guys are letters in a law office in the 60s.
Yeah.
Like,
how do you not like pneumatic tubes in any form? In any form, they are amazing to me.
I love that AIM invested so much into this cemetery secret base. Like, goddamn, I would like this playset though. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, are we gonna have to start drinking when we say that? Because both of us just love to say that. So I'm instituting that. I'm drinking Leinenkugel Summer Shandy, pretending it's still summer. It's not summer anymore, but yeah, I'm enjoying them.
I'm having some mead that I got at that the Pagan Pride thing. We did a tasting there and we bought a bottle and we opened it last night, and I'm having it in the Werewolf by Night
damn
mural glass.
Fancy. I love it.
Yes. So one of the reformed Zuvembi says, "But what about yourself, great one?" And he says, "I will follow shortly." And he whips his cape off, throws it over an AIM dude's heads as they're all like firing lasers. I go, "Spwee, spwee," after I conclude some unfinished business down here. And then he kicks another dude like in the crotch or in the ass. And he's just fucking making hay. And he's like, and I love that it says, as a series of faint pneumatic hisses tell the Voodoo Lord his charges are safely away. So the background, there's like, it says, "Out of my way, trash. It's your leader I want." I love this bottom row here. The Baron's firing his Hellfire. I don't know. I'm sure it's not Hellfire TM, but out of his skull staff, it says, "But you'll not have me, Jericho Drum. Come closer, and all you will gain is death."
Yeah.
And Brother Voodoo cavalierly says, "You're wasting your time, Baron. Haven't you heard? I've already died once." And he's like, "Blast, missed me by a hair, ricocheting off the floor behind me." Yeah. So He's being brave, but he's like, damn, he almost fucking burned me right there.
Yeah.
But great physical forms. The anatomy and physiology that Cohen has in these figures and these action sequences is just note perfect.
Yeah, those final 2 panels especially, goddamn, they look so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, we've reached the final page. So there's a blast, and it goes rang. Brother Voodoo thinks striking the supports of the brain drain device instead. And so, Baron Samdi says, "You move well, Drum, but you will not escape my laser blast a second time." Right, I kind of wish it was fire. Lasers a bit of a bummer. That's a little bit too far for me.
Yeah.
But Brother Voodoo says, "Samdi above you, in mercy's name, man, look out." And Samdi's like, "You seek to trick me with the oldest ruse in what? The mind mechanism falling. No, by all that's holy, no, no." And then, yeah, he gets crushed by the mind mechanism. And just immediately, like, warunch. Ah! And then I love that there's just a thought balloon from Brother Voodoo in that panel. It's just like, Baron Samdi's gone. Nothing that can be done for him now. Which I thought was really funny for some reason. He goes on, though, because he doesn't have much time, because he's saying, oh, nothing much can be done to save this installation either. The falling machine tore away the ceiling supports. Got to get to those elevator tubes before the entire cavern collapses. So, yeah, shit is just, falling. This place is totally crumbling. That said, for a moment, the lithe black form is lost amid the choking dust and carnage of the dying cave. Then he says, "Made it, but the pneumatic tube crumbles from beneath me even now." He's like, "Quick, my friends, get as far away from this place as you can." So, yeah, everyone's kind of just taken off. And the final narration reads, "Then, instants later, the Lord of the Loire and those he'd saved stand and watch as the pieces of a madman's dream swell once, then sink forever into the earth." So, yeah, the entire cemetery, the entire base, it's all just demolished and caved in on itself. And we get a little teaser for next issue, which says, next issue, The Black Rooster.
Yep. So here it's a daycare now. So again, when we met Baron Samdi, I was like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing ever, blah, blah. And then he's gone.
Yeah.
I don't think he wasn't a Loire. I think he just took the title. I don't know why he had ashy skin and looked kind of like undead, like he was the Lord of the Undead or something. But he was an employee of AIM, aspiring middle management, and he's gone.
Yeah.
So he shan't darken our doorway again, unfortunately.
Oh. Yeah, pretty funny. No, I get your point, but yeah, that made me laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, Glenn pointed out his shoes didn't go flying off like Bob O'Brien's did in Astonishing 21. Good point. We need to have a physics consistency in the Marvel universe. Okay, so we do have a letter for you. So let's read that. This is from Strange Tales 173. This is from Matt's voice. Maybe the next one will be from Jacob's voice. There's two short ones.
Sure.
Dear Roy and Lynn, I almost got sick when I saw Brother Voodoo fighting AIM. There's a place for that kind of villain, but not in Brother Voodoo. Take a lesson from Steve Gerber's latest voodoo classic and Tales of the Zombie. That's a good but weird story. Strange Tales 171 was well drawn, well inked, colored, and lettered beautifully, but the appearance of AIM blew it. Enough said. Paul Scar, Ames, Iowa.
Okay.
Do you want to hear the response?
Yeah, I do.
Not quite enough, Paul, since there was a very good reason for Lynn's introducing AIM into that story. You see, the Comics Code has a prohibition against the use of Walking Dead in our regular 20-cent comic mags. Thus, Lynn was required to come up with some sort of scientific explanation that would somehow establish that the Zuvembis weren't really dead. That necessitated the inclusion of AIM or some similar plot element. But this feeling of yours that AIM didn't belong in Brother Voodoo does bring up an interesting question. Should our man who lived twice be in the business of debunking voodoo frauds, such as Baron Samdi's, or should he deal exclusively with real voodoo phenomena? We'd be interested in hearing Marveldom's opinions on the matter. As for the name Zuvembi, it was used to make it clear from the start that these mindless, seemingly dead warriors were not true zombies. And as Jared pointed out, they took that from Robert E. Howard. One last note, Brother Voodoo is a combination of superhero mystery comic, while Tales of the Zombie is more oriented toward the bizarre, mystical, unnatural aspects of voodoo and the occult. For that reason, both Steve and Lynn feel strongly that it's unfair to compare them. They approach the subject matter in two entirely different ways, and thus, we think, tend to complement each other. Okay? But thanks for giving us the opportunity to plug Tales of the Zombie. We're awfully proud of that mag, and if you haven't picked one up on it yet, lover of the macabre, do it, like now. Okay, and one last short letter. Dear Marvel, Brother Voodoo is just phantasmoranic. It's the best comic you've come up with, bar none. I'm 17, a girl, and I read Marvel comics often. I've done many research papers on Vaudou, the Tahitian spelling of voodoo, and have been allowed to witness one spectacular voodoo ritual. In some future issue, why not show a ritual with all the trimmings? I must go now. My Hungan is calling. Eve Biggs, Bakersfield, California. And they say, we wish you'd describe that ritual, Eve, since neither Lynn nor Jean, despite their extensive research into voodoo, has ever actually seen a ceremony performed. If you care to drop us another note containing the eyewitness account, you're hereby invited. And the same invitation naturally goes out to any other readers who may have similar stories to relate. But be forewarned, between them, Lynn Wein and Steve Gerber have read almost every book currently available on the subject of voodoo. At this point, we don't even think a hoax by Clifford Irving would fool them, so don't try. I don't know who that is.
Okay, so Clifford Irving wrote the fake biography of Howard Hughes.
Oh, okay.
And did that whole yeah. Do you remember Orson Welles' F is for Fake?
Yeah,
I think Clifford Irving is in that, if I'm correct.
There was a lot in that movie. I need to see that again. It was
I
remember being brilliant and being like, holy shit, this is like a super meta cool thing, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's do final thoughts.
Yeah, well, gosh, I guess I'll go first. I really loved it. I mean, obviously the art is incredible, really through the whole issue. I mean, even if Colin and Giacoya were just like, oh, science now, huh? We were just getting into the kind of dark, subject matter in the beginning, and now we just gotta, like you were saying, draw an issue of Cap and the Falcon. And but no, I mean, I don't think it took away from the quality of the art. I think that the subject matter was a little silly. Yeah, the art, this is one of the strongest. Is this the strongest art-wise we've had this season?
I feel like it is.
I don't think there's any question, really. I think this is, so yeah, it's just been such a treat to have such an amazing issue art-wise, even if the story got a little silly. But, and that letter confirms that, yeah, there was a reason. So I don't know. I wonder if Len was just like, God damn it, I guess. Like, fine. Which he probably was, especially if him and Jean have read every book they can find on the subject. Which, I mean, there's probably lots available. There's really good libraries in New York. So they could just go to fucking Carnegie Library and get tons of cool shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, this showed up this weekend.
Nice.
So I'm going to start reading through this, and it's jam-packed with beautiful stuff. So I want to share some kind of a cool voodoo factoid every time we talk about Brother Voodoo from here on out, but didn't have a chance to crack it open yet. Yeah, I've been pretty clear about this. I absolutely love the art the whole way through. Being a monster guy and a horror guy, I love the first sequence passionately, and I love the flashback even. And yeah, I guess just basically once we go into the lab, I just felt like it was a little goofy. I understand that he had to have a scientific explanation, but you could very, very easily have someone that is literally the mirror inversion, the Black Lodge version of Brother Voodoo on Haiti. That's a scientist who uses science and voodoo for evil instead of being a doctor and a practitioner of voodoo for good. Mm-hmm. So we didn't need James Bond giant death rays and all that type of stuff to explain away science and make them living people. So no, I guess I just kind of wish it was different.
Hey, I get it. No, I totally understand.
That being said, I thought Ween had some really nice writing in here. Like there's moments that are great. I just story-wise, I thought fell apart in the second half in his way of appeasing the code or the editors, and didn't love that part of it. But I'll read it again happily anytime. colors, pencils, inks, gorgeous. Yeah, people want to know, is your mic stand broken or is it just cold?
So we had a problem with the springs on this mic stand doing this weird, like odd harmony thing as I would when I was using the mic. So we had to baffle them a bit, and because of who I live with, this is some cool vintage dish towel that we wrapped around the springs. But
And then now you've baffled our viewers.
yeah, there you go.
Get it? All right, so this week on the bonus show, we're going to be talking about The House on Skull Mountain from 1974. It was a little film from Atlanta, Georgia, that was filmed there and premiered there. And I had never seen it before. It was kind of new to me.
Wow.
So that was cool. Excited to talk about that. And yeah, if you want to check out the bonus show, you can become a Patreon supporter. That's the best way to do that. Us people choose to support us that way, and we really appreciate that. There's tiers for pretty much every budget. The lowest one is $1 a month. That's a cult member, and that's just $1. And you don't get the bonus show for that one, though. You just get this really nice art that we had made of Werewolf by Night and Man Wolf for your phones, your computers, your tablets. That's just a thank you for supporting us at that level.
Yeah, next level is Scaly Ones. At $2 a month, you receive the weekly bonus show in audio format. And all the tiers that we're going to talk about have access to the bonus show, can access the entire archive of episodes, which this one will be 72. Yes. So yeah, a lot of archived stuff to access.
Yeah. And somebody found my you know what I miss about, I hate CDs almost as much as I hate cassettes, but I did love the hidden tracks of CDs.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm trying to think what it was. I know that, like, on 9 Inch Nails, whatever that EP was after Pretty Hate Machine, there was like 97 tracks or whatever, 96 tracks of like whatever, and then there was like a couple of hidden songs. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But I miss hidden tracks, and I did hide a track at the end of our last bonus show of
I know
waiting for Jacob to show up for the bonus show. I was a little early, and I was amusing myself, as I often do, by making nonsense lyrics up to popular songs. So I did a version of Sweet Caroline that is about Diamond Jean, the mountain god. So that's just the stuff you get.
It is.
And if you want to see me sing that instead of just hear it, you could become a Demon Spawn member at $3 a month, and you get the video and audio version of the show and all the archives. So there's that. Just saying, I do sing a pretty mean Diamond Jean guy, or Sweet Caroline.
All right, but most popular of our tiers is Pack Member at $5 a month. You get the weekly bonus show in audio and video format, and special gated content that the previously mentioned tiers don't get. They also get a shout-out credit in the bonus show and verbal shout-outs in the main show, which we'll do right now. Pack members, that's fine folks like Tim Tucker,
Brian from Marvel by the Month,
Blake, last name withheld,
Caleb,
David Goodwin,
Ben M,
Michelle from Moonlit Comics,
Letty. Hi, Letty. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Johnny Turner,
Justin the Owl,
Russ from Taste the Pod of Dracula.
It's a good season to listen to a Dracula podcast. Brad Elmore,
Jason Finestone.
Hi, Jason. Worm Drive Pro,
Jared C. Jared C is with us too.
Yeah. Brink, thanks for joining us tonight, Brink. Appreciate you.
Bill from Long Island.
David D.
Glenn Lash, who's also here.
Hey, Glenn. Rob from Marvel by the Month.
Dave Kennedy.
And Benjamin Potter, who I'm assuming is the guy that wrote, I'm guessing that's Ben as a turd?
I'm assuming so, yes. And also Steve Lacey.
Yes, our newest pack member. The final tier that we have, though, that's our Star God tier. And that those are our celestial barbarian deities, and they get even more stuff. So they get all the stuff we've already mentioned. And on top of that, after 6 months of being a member, you go into our Threadless shop. You can pick out, saying, I don't know, it's the Living Colossus shirt if you wanted one, or coffee mug, or travel mug. And we'll send that right to your door as a thank you. We also give out special stuff that's just for Star Gods. So we'll do like special issues, special little mini videos, stuff like that. And that's just for those folks who support us at that tier. And that's the fine people like Jesse McFerrin,
MJ,
Ryan from Across the Bifrost, a Mighty Thor podcast,
John Walsh,
Michael Giacchino,
Melissa Watts,
Josh Link,
Jackson T. Overstreet,
Mark Nivens. I think Mark was here tonight. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. Hey, Mark. Eric Hadley.
And Catherine Neff. Thank you for supporting us at the Star God level. You guys make all kinds of cool stuff happen behind the scenes for us. So we appreciate it. It makes the show better. You make us better. Thank you for that. All right. So next up, Jacob, I believe we are talking about Astonishing Tales number 22. So we are finding out more about that strange gargoyle that was watching the end of the last issue. I had a good time talking about that issue with you. I felt at the time, I felt a little off that day, and I kind of felt like I was bad mouthing a little bit about how some of the stuff didn't translate. But I listened back to a bit of the episode, the edited episode, and it didn't come off that way. So I'm hoping that was just in my head, that it was like I feel like I'm bashing this and being down in the mouth about it, but I didn't feel that way about it.
No, I listened to the whole thing, and it was great. I feel like we had a lot of fun listening back to it. I was just like, oh wow, we laughed a lot during this issue, which I totally get. But no, it was super fun. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it's gonna go next.
Very cool. All right, folks. We have a voicemail number. That's 971-220-5865, 971-220-JUNK. Yes. I don't know if you saw, Jacob, we did get another query about, are you guys the junk people? Please call me back if you are, because I have something for you to pick up.
Love it. Every month.
We're not the junk people.
No.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. We just talk about comic books. Letty,
that's right.
Today was a rough day for me, but this live stream made it a little better. Thank you for the great time once again. Thank you, Letty. And trust me, all of you folks being here made it better for me. So we appreciate that you take the time out to hang out with us for an hour or so and talk about some classic comics. So it makes my day as well. I had a particularly shitty day at work. So I can't wait to get out of here. Jacob and I are going to go on a little adventure. We'll talk about that a little bit on the bonus show, maybe.
Yep.
I'll be seeing Jacob tomorrow. And yeah, cool. So as I said, Astonishing Tales number 22 for our next episode. And of course, you can send us a review at bronzeagemonsters@gmail.com or at Bronze Age Monsters on Instagram or Threads. We're on Blue Sky if you just search for our name. Yeah, I think I've covered all the bases there. So until we meet next week, stay bronze, Pony Boy. Stay bronze. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us. In stream. Oh, Mark says, awesome show as always. Thanks. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, good night, all. Thanks, Mark.
In stream. There.